If you think that English has some difficult vocabulary, well, check this out. This is the name of a train station in Wales, and this is the longest train station name in England. Look at that. That is crazy. Now, the pronunciation of this word is very difficult for an English speaker like me, but there is a really funny song to help you pronounce it. Also, have you seen the video of the Nigerian guy with the longest name in the world?
So what is your name?
My name?
Yes, your name.
My name is
Pardon? Come again.
That's a difficult name. Hello and welcome to Canguro English. I'm Christian, and today I'm going to teach you about metonymy. So you know that I think the most important thing when you are learning a new language is to have fun, to enjoy the experience. And one way that you can have fun and enjoy learning a language is by playing with the language. So today I'm going to teach you about a little technique in English that you can use to play a bit with English. The Greeks were very academic. In fact, the English word school comes from the Greek word skoli, which means leisure, free time, to relax. Because in ancient Greece, you had two choices, go and fight, or stay at home in Athens, learning and relaxing. So in the past, school was something really fantastic. Not like now when children say, "But mummy, I don't want to go to school." And the Greeks were the first people to study language and make rules for language and study the structures of language. And they were the first people to describe metonymy. So metonymy is when we substitute one part of something for the whole thing. It's a way of playing with the language. So now I'm going to show you how it works. Andrew Keller from the University of San Diego defined 7 types of metonymy. So I'm going to show them to you today. So the first type is when we use the part of something to represent the whole of something. So for example, get your butt over here. So why don't you think of some ideas about parts of things you can use to refer to the whole thing. For example, maybe you can call your car wheels. I like your wheels. Or maybe if you need help moving something very heavy, you can say, bring your muscles here and lift this. The next type is when we substitute the producer of something for the product. So he bought a new Ford. So in this example, we are substituting a car for the brand, for the producer of the car, Ford. So can you think of any famous products in your country that you can substitute? Any famous brands? For example, here, everybody in Spain drinks very rich, very delicious hot chocolate. And the brand is Colacao. So maybe you could say, every morning I drink a Colacao. Is there something similar in your country? The next type is when we substitute the object used for the user. So for example, the piano is sick today. But a piano is an instrument. It's not possible for a piano to be sick. But what we mean is the user of the object. We're saying the person who plays the piano is sick today. Can you think of some examples in your work or in your studies of something similar? Maybe if you work in a factory and you have a machine to lift things and move them, a forklift, maybe you could say, the forklift is sick today. Or maybe if you want to talk about your teacher, this is chalk I used to write on the board. Maybe you could say, the chalk isn't here today. The next type is when we substitute the controller for the controlled. For example, Napoleon lost at Waterloo. Now, Waterloo was a very famous battle, and Napoleon was not one person who lost the battle. There was an army, soldiers, thousands of men. So we are substituting the people controlled, the army, the soldiers, we're substituting them for the person who was in control, Napoleon. So maybe you can think about some examples from your country. Maybe there is a person in control and you use them to represent the people who are being controlled. The next type is when we substitute the institution for the people responsible. So in this case, Shell has raised its prices. Now, Shell is the name of the company, the name of the institution. And so a name cannot raise its prices. It's an object. So we're substituting the name of the company for the people responsible, the managers who make the decisions to raise the prices. So can you think of some examples where you can substitute an institution for people responsible? For example, the government. Maybe you don't agree with the government's decisions. Well, don't forget that this is a type of metonymy. You are substituting all of the politicians who make decisions for the government. So the next one is when we substitute the place for the institution. For example, the White House isn't saying anything. Now, obviously, the White House is a place, okay? The White House can't speak, it can't say anything. But the White House represents the institution of the American government, of the American president. Is there something similar in your country where you can substitute a famous place to represent an institution? So the final type is when we substitute the place for the event. For example, it's been Grand Central Station all day here. What does this mean? Well, Grand Central Station is a very famous and very busy train station in New York. And when you say it's Grand Central Station, you mean that all day, very busy, lots of people, lots of activity, lots of movement. You're substituting the place for the events of the day. So you can experiment with this in your country. So maybe there is a famous place that's very busy. Substitute this for a very busy day. Or maybe there's a place in your city which is very tranquil, very quiet. You can substitute this for a moment or a day or an event that's very quiet. Well, I hope you found that interesting. So now I want you to go and play with some metonymy and have some fun. If you would like to see any more classes about the English language, then don't forget to subscribe. I'm Christian, this is Canguro English. I'll see you in class.